Hey guys, I'm taking 2020 right as a good time to hit the reset button on like a lot of things in my life. So that's the reason why I'm like restarting my channel. I'm gonna take down pretty much everything previous from here. And for me, it's first about stability. That's what January for the most part has been about. It's just how can you build more stability and consistency in your life. And so I kind of just think that's important overall and for everyone. And I've been basically following like a couple different books, and for the most part it's been The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey, which has been like the foundation. And so it's really about first thinking that personal change, personal transformation, and everything, it's possible, right? We are really the only limits of ourselves in life. And so if we're holding ourselves back through our previous experiences, traumas, things that happen in our life, our environment, our circumstance, I mean, you're just going to be kind of stuck there for a while. And that's the way I like to look at it. So it was really about letting go of a lot of things that or you feel like and just being open-minded. So that was the first. And given that, it opened me up to, for one, learning to be a little more organized, right? People that know me like personal life, it's like I'm a little, I wouldn't say disoriented, but I'm unorganized in a way that life is very interesting, and you can get kind of caught up thinking about, oh, this is cool and this is cool, like all this like shiny object syndrome. And so being more focused and deliberate with all of that is like really key. So I ran into a book called The Organized Mind. And so, foundationally, I really found that to be helpful for someone who's just like so ADD at times, right? It's really, really important for me to have structure in my life, for the sake that my mind can go so many different ways if that structure is not there, which goes back to that whole consistency and stability factor, right? And then from that, like it pushed me to build better habits and better routines in my life, which honestly has just made me happier. And so that's what I challenge other people, if that's what they struggle with. If you're out there and you're just kind of overloaded with life, keep it easy, keep it simple, right? Look at what are ways that I can release this angst inside of me of whatever you're feeling. And that takes like a deep dive into yourself, and like that's a scary place, right? Like I've journaled like a lot, I've journaled like crazy, and I think that is such a powerful tool to engage in journalism, for the sake that it's a way to document experience, right? And documenting experience for like yourself, and then also for like others, right? One of the things that I find the most interesting, and why I like encourage other people to journal or other people to vlog like this, is that it provides insight into other people's realities, other people's minds. And that's the key point, is that we're all living realities that we see, and it's through our experiences that we realize that our experiences are shaping other people's experiences as well. And so taking more ownership about our experience that we're able to give to other people, right? It in turn changes your experience, right? It's like the give and take. So that's the real key right there. And so with that being said, like the goal of this is, for one, just to kind of voice out that I think life is life is always such an interesting journey, and it's never too late to hit the reset button. It's never too late to rediscover yourself, right? And when you engage in the process of rediscovering yourself, you don't want to come into it like half-ass and uncommitted, right? You want to come in, right, with success and the end in mind, which is what you define for yourself. And what I define for myself is just a happy life, right? One where those around me are happy, fulfilled, and food's in their stomach, right, essentially. And that's it. It's simple, and everything along the way is a treat. And so when you take that into account, it's like, if you have all of those in mind and all your values, right, are aligned in that way, the journey becomes an experience where it's something you just enjoy, right? So it's stepping into the realm of when you say, hey, where can I find, right, the stimulus in my life that's making me act or do a certain way, and actually having a choice and actually having that power to respond instead of react. And to me, it really dives into such like deep things, but at the same time it's very simple, because it's your brain. It's neuroscience, essentially, right? It's the way that we are compartmentalizing and dealing with information in the world. And so the information is that where are our habits and our behaviors that are learned, right? Where did they come from? And is that valid? Is it not valid? And what can we do with that, right? So bringing it all back, like, that's where the journaling aspect comes into line, is that when we're talking about rewriting our script in life and everything, and when you hit that reset button, say, like, you know, what else is out there, right, other than my current reality that could have so much angst and stress and whatever. You journal, and then you realize that if there are certain loops, certain patterns that are resulting in dissatisfaction and unhappiness, then you know what to do about it. And when you're in a good place, or you're coming from your highest place, your highest self, and you're able to say, okay, given that, hey, this is how you should respond. This is how you should do it, right? So even when later in life that your emotions get caught up in it, this is how you're going to react, and this is how you're going to respond, or respond instead of react, essentially, right? So that's what it's about. And there's this beautiful moment, and you know, I want everyone to experience that, when all of a sudden, when they're writing and they're journaling, they're documenting, maybe it be pen and paper, whatever system that you really trust is, that's when you start to realize, like, hey, I am like writing my story. I'm writing my life. Like, the things that I'm writing down that I'm setting out to achieve, or things that I want in my life, the successes, right? I put it down and I'm gonna go for it. And when you go through that you know, battle of life, because it happens, like, things happen in life, right? You see that. You see the data of, like, oh, hey, I wrote about this, and I went through this, and I exactly know and can pinpoint this is the issue, right? So then you know the pain point, and you can, like, figure that out in your journal and deep dive into yourself and fix that. And when you fix that, it's like, all right, now we're back and we're in the flow of things, and you know, I'm back to the script that I originally was working towards, right? And that's it. And I think that's just like the power of journalism and everything, and just documenting. So that's kind of why I put this out here, is that for me, it's hitting the reset button in life, and working towards building a better foundation, better habits, and everything. And so lastly, it all comes down to your morning routine and your evening routine. That's it, right? You start your morning a certain way. For me, it's working out, it's fitness. That is what makes me happy. You start your day in that and you win that, everything else in the rest of the day, like, it happens, but you won the day, right? And then your evening routine, it's preparing for the next day. It's preparing for the next battle, right? So then you're battle ready for the next day. And your mind and your body is already prepared and understands, like, I know what's coming. I know what's about to happen. So you just go and do it. And it doesn't surprise you. So having the plan and having no plan, it's kind of that, you know? So I'll leave it at that, and I'm gonna go jump some rope. So peace. Just do the thing.